A woman named Lauren faced ridicule, was drenched, struck by golf balls, and violently expelled from Pinewood Golf Club in Naples, Florida. Her serene beauty was torn apart by a cruel crowd until her billionaire husband, Daniel Pierce, arrived in his jet to ignite chaos in their lives. The fairways shimmered with entitlement, yet Greg, an arrogant golfer, struck a ball that hit her head, chuckling as Tara splashed her with water while Chad spat in her face, the privileged crowd jeering her away. Until the thunder of a jet heralded an unforeseen reckoning. The club unfolded as a vast oasis of perfectly trimmed lawns and swaying palm trees, where the scent of wealth lingered in the air and the sound of golf clubs resonated like an opulent melody. Lauren made her entrance onto the grounds, dressed in a well-worn green polo and khaki shorts, her blonde hair pulled back into a casual bun. She possessed an undeniable beauty with clear blue eyes and an effortless elegance, yet it seemed no one took notice. To the staff and guests, she appeared as an unassuming outsider, too humble for their exclusive realm. Unbeknownst to them, she concealed a secret that would leave them gasping over their martinis. Lauren didn't arrive to show off anything. She accompanied her old college friend, Sarah, who had insisted she experience a day at Pinewood. Sarah's indulgence. Lauren had the means to purchase the entire course if she so desired. She was wed to a giant, her personal finances robust from years of discreet investments, yet she preferred to maintain a subtle presence. No designer bags, no luxury watches, just a worn-out pair of sneakers and a grin. She decided to grab a club, enjoy a refreshing soda, and bask in the sunshine. Yet, the moment she strolled by the clubhouse, the murmurs began and the fangs were bared. The pro shop clerk, a lean fellow named Chad sporting a faux tan and a disdainful expression, noticed her first. "Hey there, are you a bit turned around?" His voice rang out, commanding attention from all around. "This is not a public park, it's for members only." Lauren maintained her composure, her voice unwavering. "I am accompanied by Sarah Brooks. She possesses a guest pass." Chad let out a derisive snort, his gaze fixed on her shorts. "Absolutely, of course. What brings someone like you to this place? Seeking to find a benefactor?" A handful of golfers in the vicinity shared a laugh, their polo shirts neatly pressed and their smiles self-satisfied. Lauren's cheeks turned a deep shade of red, yet she held her composure. "Are you just here for some fun?" She spoke with a gentle yet resolute tone. Chad went beyond mere mockery towards her. He emerged from behind the counter, seized her golf bag from her shoulder, and unceremoniously emptied its contents onto the clubhouse floor. "Gatherings. A vessel for hydration. Her purse. Dispersing them carelessly. Let's uncover what the gold digger is concealing," he scoffed, sending her wallet skidding beneath a table while Tara applauded. "I have a feeling it's all a facade, much like her persona." Greg burst into hearty laughter. "Behold that clutter. It suits her flawlessly." Lauren stooped to collect her belongings, her hands trembling, yet she remained composed. She calmly resumed her life while the crowd mocked her. Their cruelty cuts like a knife, twisting deeper with each moment. The story continued beyond that point. A waitress named Tara, with her striking bleach blonde hair and form-fitting skirt, glided over with a tray of drinks, a smirk playing on her lips. "Oh darling, we don't offer tap water here. You have to invest in the quality items." She cast a glance at Lauren's outfit, chuckling softly. "What did you do? Explore a thrift store? This space is designated for learning, not for those seeking handouts." The golfers erupted in laughter. A man named Greg, a robust real estate mogul with a booming voice, adding to the conversation. "She's likely here to charm her way into complimentary drinks. I doubt she can even handle a club." Lauren held onto the borrowed golf bag, maintaining her composure. "I'll cover my own expenses," she murmured softly. The barbs became more vicious. Tara escalated the situation, seizing a pitcher of ice water from her tray and drenching Lauren's head with it. The icy jolt drenched her polo, cascading down her face. "Take a breather, darling. You're completely out of your depth," she jeered, a smirk playing on her lips as the liquid clung to Lauren's hair, slicking it against her neck. Greg let out a loud laugh. "Now she's just a soggy mess. Ideal enhancement." Tom jumped in, capturing the moment with a quick snap on his phone. "This needs to be shared. A destitute soul receives a cleansing wash." The audience burst into applause, some behaving as if they were at a wild spectacle, while Lauren remained frozen in place, soaked and trembling, her quiet demeanor sharply opposing their hostility. Chad leaned over the counter, his smirk taking on a cruel edge. "Listen, save the performance. Your disguise is hardly convincing. Take your antics elsewhere." Tara chimed in, her voice cutting through the air with clarity. "Indeed, we recognize your kind. Pursuing wealthy individuals because you're feeling unfulfilled. Find a legitimate career." Greg let out a hearty laugh, striking his knee with his hand. I wouldn't be surprised if she's struggling financially. Behold those shoes. What comes next? Requesting some guidance. The audience thrived on it, their laughter a barrier of derision. Lauren closed her eyes briefly, urging herself to maintain her composure. She was indifferent to their approval, uninterested in their conflict. Then it took a dark turn. Greg chose not to wait for her to take her turn. He approached Lauren confidently on the range. She wrenched the club from her grasp and forcefully pushed her down onto the grass, her knees crashing into the earth. You have no place here, undeserving one. Remain on the ground. He growled, flinging the club away while Rick erupted in applause. Indeed, let her remain in the muck where she belongs. Tara let out a shriek, observing her crawl. Disappointing. The golfers gathered around, some capturing the moment on camera, their laughter echoing with a hint of derision. Lauren hoisted herself up, the grass leaving marks on her shorts. Yet she refrained from raising her voice, simply dusting off her hands, her poise in the midst of turmoil rendering their animosity even more grotesque. Greg picked up a club, striding confidently onto the driving range where Lauren was poised, preparing to take her shot. Check this out, guys, he said, giving a sly wink to his friends, a rowdy duo known as Tom and Rick. He positioned the ball, focused intently on her, and struck with force. The golf ball soared across the green, striking Lauren directly on the forehead with a jarring thud. She faltered, agony surging through her head, a stream of crimson cascading down her temple. Greg bent at the waist, laughter erupting from him. Got it right, I mentioned she's the focus. Following the strike of the golf ball, Tom maintained his intensity. With a swift motion, he picked up another ball, placed it on the tee, and took another swing. This moment, grazing Lauren's shoulder as she attempted to escape, intensified her agony. 2 for 2, he exclaimed, celebrating with a high five to Rick while Greg shouted in the background. Stay persistent, she's elusive. Crimson droplets flowed down her arm, blending with the perspiration and grime. And Tara shouted, bleed somewhere else, you're spoiling the scenery. The audience erupted, with some flinging teas at her as if she were part of a competition. And Lauren grasped her shoulder, feeling lightheaded yet mute. Her dignity torn apart by their grasp. Tom let out a hoot, he really ought to have ducked, darling. Tara erupted in applause, her voice ringing out, that's what you get for invading our territory. Lauren pressed a hand to her forehead, feeling lightheaded, the sharp pain clouding her sight. She remained composed, neither screaming nor cursing, her poise unwavering. Chad marched over, seething with anger. You've reached your limit, it's over for you, you're a serious burden, leaving your mark on our lawn. He seized her arm, pulling her toward the gate, as Greg shouted, take your hustle somewhere else, trash. Rick hurled a water bottle in her direction, drenching her legs, and the audience erupted in applause. Farewell, you who seeks alms. Tara gestured with a playful scoff. Stay away, you troublemaker. They pushed her beyond the clubhouse, unceremoniously dropping her on the curb, her golf bag landing with a dull thud beside her. As Chad pulled her toward the gate, Rick seized a fistful of her damp hair, tugging it sharply enough to elicit a gasp, and spat in her face, the viscous glob landing on her cheek. How dare you waste our time, you despicable wretch, he spat with contempt. Tara flung her tray away and sent Lauren's golf bag tumbling into the gutter, clubs clanging together. Gather your things and leave, Greg shouted. Never return to this place again, you parasite. The throng erupted in a chant, demanding, out, out. Capturing her humiliation, their devices illuminating the scene as Lauren faltered, a mix of saliva and blood evident. Yet she remained unyielding, simply clearing her face and pressing on. She remained seated, crimson staining her fingertips, the sun relentless above, their laughter echoing in her mind. Fury simmered within her, yet she restrained it from escaping. She despised the drama, loathed the way they scrutinized her for nothing more than a polo and shorts. This wasn't merely about her, it was about their self-satisfied little circle, believing they could obliterate anyone who dared to step outside their predefined boundaries. With a grimace, she retrieved her phone and dialed Daniel's number. He grasped it quickly, his resonant voice a beacon of hope. Hey Lauren, are you doing all right? What seems to be the issue? She attempted to maintain a cheerful tone, her voice quivering. Tough day at Pinewood, faced some challenges, ended up being removed. His tone grew somber. Strike? By whom? I'll be there in 10 minutes. Remain in that spot. At the club, the festivities continued, unaware of anything else. Greg was popping open another beer, boasting with enthusiasm. Absolutely captured the moment, you should have witnessed her expression. Chad wiped the counter, a smirk playing on his lips as he glanced at Tara. Goodbye, it ensured the undesirables stayed away. Tom and Rick raised their glasses, chuckling over the gold digger who just couldn't make the cut. They remained oblivious to the distant roar of jet engines, unaware of the shadow slicing through the sky. Suddenly, the earth trembled as a sleek black jet descended rapidly, touching down forcefully on the 18th hole, tearing through the grass beneath its wheels. The clubhouse windows trembled, beverages cascading as Daniel Pierce emerged, his aura a tempest approaching. He commanded attention, towering and robust, with dark hair laced with gray, dressed in a fitted blazer that exuded both affluence and a hint of peril. Daniel Pierce was a billionaire tycoon, the ruler of Pierce Industries, a vast empire encompassing technology, real estate, and leisure activities. He had fought his way up from a tough Chicago neighborhood, transforming hardship into success, and now he possessed half of the luxury golf courses in the nation, including Pinewood. He was fiercely devoted, ready to go to any lengths for Lauren, his beloved wife of 3 years. He charged across the verdant expanse, his gaze fixed on her as she remained seated, silent and stained with crimson. "Lauren," he murmured, kneeling beside her, his voice a gentle whisper laced with anger. "Who is responsible for this?" She reached out to him, her hand firm against the ache that lingered. "I'm fine, Dan, just a golf ball. Greg, over yonder." She gestured toward the range. Daniel's jaw clenched, his eyes darting toward the crowd, which was now staring in disbelief from the clubhouse. "So, Greg, is it? And what about the others?" He assisted her to her feet, gently removing the dirt from her shorts, then pivoted, his voice resonating powerfully. "Who among you is Greg?" The robust figure advanced, beer clutched in hand, a smirk playing on his lips. "That's who I am, and what of it?" Daniel's laughter was frigid. "You struck my wife with a golf ball, that's the issue at hand." The atmosphere fell silent. Chad's tan had dulled, and his smirk had vanished. "Your spouse?" Tara's tray rattled, her laughter fading away. "Absolutely not," Daniel interrupted, his eyes aflame. "Lauren Pierce, my wife, you disrespected her because she doesn't show off. A significant error." He swiftly retrieved his phone, fingers flying over the screen as he dialed. "Mike, this is Dan from Pinewood Golf Club. Please shut it down and clear everything out immediately." A sharp, decisive sound echoed, and he ended the call, shooting a glare at Greg. "You take the stage, articulate," Greg faltered, confidence fading. "It was just a joke, you know? I had no idea," and Daniel didn't even flinch. "Would you like to hear a joke?" "She's hurt, it's over for you." He made another call. "Lisa, it's Greg Tanner here, the real estate professional, correct? Bring down his agreements, demand repayment on his loans, dismantle his company today." Greg's beer tumbled from his grasp, shattering on the patio with a sharp crack. "It's not possible." Daniel wore a sly grin, exuding an air of danger. "I possess your realm, my friend, observe closely." He glanced over at Chad and Tara. "You both, pulling her away, labeling her as worthless, you're dismissed, gather your things." Tom and Rick attempted to stealthily retreat, but Daniel's voice froze them in their tracks. Tara and Chad took their chance as well, confronting Daniel by the clubhouse while the jet's engines thundered, tears flowing down Tara's cheeks. "Mr. Pierce, we apologize for the oversight. We were unaware she belonged to you. Please return our jobs to us." Chad nodded in a state of urgency. "I will express my regret. I will plead for forgiveness. Please refrain from blacklisting us." Daniel's gaze was unyielding as he redialed Mike's number. "Ensure that no club, no resort, and no property owned by Pierce ever employs them. They've reached the end of their journey." He ended the call, his eyes narrowing in frustration. "You unleashed your disdain upon her, trampling her belongings, reveling in the depths of contempt. They collapsed, security pushing them away, their careers extinguished, their arrogance now just a memory for the audience to celebrate into oblivion. Stay right there, you encouraged it, splashed water, laughed, now you're on the sidelines. All Pierce clubs and partner courses across the country are complete." Tara's jaw dropped, yet Daniel, dismissed her reaction with a wave of my hand. "Put it away, you're done," he shouted once more. "Mike, please include Chad Willis, Tara Hayes, Tom Baxter, and Rick Coleman on the blacklist. Enduring, no access, no compassion." The employees stood still, the audience murmuring as security made their entrance. Large figures in dark polos, radios buzzing, the turn struck with intensity. A groundskeeper, a reserved fellow named Pete, who had observed everything, finally broke his silence. "Indeed, I witnessed it. Greg intentionally directed that ball." They all conspired together, refusing to let her join in the game. Daniel's eyes narrowed, rage intensifying. "Intentionally?" He gazed at Lauren, his expression softening. "Why didn't you share with me the extent of the situation?" She gave a slight shrug, a wince crossing her face as her fingers brushed against her forehead. "I preferred to avoid the drama, believing I could handle it on my own." He shook his head, caught in a whirlwind of wonder and fury. You're far too exceptional for these fools, Greg pleaded, his voice trembling. Mr. Pierce, I have a family to consider. As security dragged Greg away, he managed to break free, lunging toward Lauren by the jet, his face flushed with panic. Mrs. Pierce, I assure you that was not my intention. I have children and a home loan to manage. He pleaded, his voice trembling. Do not allow him to drive me into financial ruin. Lauren regarded him, the dried blood on her temple a stark reminder, and shook her head, composed yet distant. You took aim at me twice. No exceptions will be made. Daniel entered the room, his presence looming over Greg. You've heard her, let the tears flow as much as they need to. A tribute to your company. Security pulled him away, his cries diminishing as Daniel's message to Lisa confirmed it. Greg's empire reduced to nothing, his existence a mere heap of ashes by dawn. Daniel's piercing gaze silenced him. You ought to have considered that prior to making your move. Your company is finished, destined for bankruptcy by nightfall. Tara wept bitterly. I truly desire this opportunity. Chad added his voice to the conversation. It was an unfortunate misunderstanding, sir. Daniel remained unperturbed. You brought shame upon my wife. Your work is complete. He gave a subtle nod to the security personnel. Remove them immediately. The team accelerated swiftly. Greg, Chad, Tara, Tom, and Rick were taken away, their protests dwindling as they were cast beyond the gates. Daniel grasped Lauren's hand, guiding her toward the steps of the jet. Golf is no longer played here. He spoke with a steady yet kind demeanor. They are not worthy of you. She nodded, her allure radiating amidst the grime and chaos. He stood before the astonished crowd, their presence hanging in the air. The mine at Pinewood. Each blade of grass. Each membership. You dismissed Lauren completely. You hold no significance at this moment. The engines of the jet purred softly, poised for takeoff, while security ushered the final few passengers through the gate. As darkness fell, the aftermath was devastating. Greg's business fell apart. Loans have been called. Clients are backing out. His name became toxic overnight. Chad and Tara's resumes encountered an obstacle. No team would consider them. Their careers have turned to ash. The memberships of Tom and Rick have been rendered null throughout the network. Their day on the golf course has come to an end. Their friends are abandoning them quickly. Pinewood has closed its doors for renovations. A cover for Daniel's cleansing. New team members. Fresh guidelines. Gone are the remnants of the former era. The individuals who had ridiculed Lauren were no longer present. Their advantage torn apart. All due to their inability to look beyond a worn-out polo. That evening, Daniel and Lauren found themselves in their beach house, her head wrapped in a bandage, his arm tenderly draped around her. You really didn't need to take it to that extent, she remarked, a faint smile playing on her lips. He smiled, a blend of intensity and warmth. Indeed, I did. No one lays a finger on you. Definitely not a ball. Silence prevails. She nestled closer to him. The rhythmic sound of waves crashing against the shore echoes outside. Her subtle resilience complements his fierce passion. The golf course belonged to them once more. Those who had caused her pain were now haunted solely by the remnants of their own hubris. If this tale captured your heart, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more enchanting narratives.